Hello, my name is Zachariah with Old Man Gaming, and doing a quick video for you today. 2K24 is out in the wild, and disclaimer to all of you out there, I don't play any mode other than GM mode. I don't even know the buttons to the game when it comes to actually how to play, because my favorite aspects of the game is the booking, and GM mode just is a total package for me. So that's what I play personally. So I'm Zachariah with Old Man Gaming, and I wanted to get this video out and just tell you 5 things I want to see added to 2K24's My GM mode specifically. So again, this is specifically going to be My GM mode. On top of that, I also want to say that there's just a huge wish list of things that I'd love to see added to GM mode in the future, just in general. But these are things that I think would be within the realm of possibility for them to patch into 2K24. And that's what I kept this list to. Do I think that these things are going to be added? No, not even close. I will be surprised if we even get 1 or 2 of these things. But these are things that I think that they could add to 2K24 to make it a better experience in the GM mode area. So, let's go ahead and get into it. First and foremost, it is the most important one for me, and this is the one I'm going to talk about the most, and that is women's titles for the ECW brand. Right now, as it stands, they added a 6th brand. That brand is ECW. However, they said that there is no women's world championship. There's no women's tag team championships. And what they decided to quote on this was authenticity, since ECW's rise and fall was in the 90s when women's wrestling, good quality women's wrestling, just didn't really exist. They were more like eye candy for other wrestlers. So that's how they've kind of gotten around with not putting a women's title or a women's tag team champions in there. However, I feel that argument falls apart, and there is a number of reasons why this should be added. So let me get into it. First of all, it falls apart because if you're looking for authenticity, the black and gold NXT did not use rainbow colored belts, whereas in the game the rainbow belts are shared between NXT 2.0, which is ridiculous. 2.0 is the only one with the rainbow colored belts. On top of that, WCW never had women's tag team championships, but this game has WCW with women's tag team champions and had them last year with women's tag team champions, so that falls apart. The next thing is, of course, the equality issue. I think it should be fair across the board. I think often WWE is an overtly sexist company, but completely aside from that, it just doesn't look good. I mean, you have 5 brands already there that have a women's world championship and a women's tag team championships, and now you're adding another brand and basically saying the women are sideshows, which I don't think is good. I just don't think it looks good. I don't think it's good for business. And also, it brings me to my biggest point, which is it's not going to make you feel right about winning, losing, or anything in between. They basically said that to make up for this, because you could have so many more belts in the other shows, and each one of those belts gives whatever superstars that have them a 10-point popularity bump. In this, since there's only the 4 belts that can be on people, 2 tag titles, and then the TV and the world, it's a 20-point bump. The problem is that you only have guys, so you don't have to worry about the women. So you have to draft, you have to hire a lot less, plus you're taking out of the pool the guys, whereas everybody else has to be concerned about both genders. So even if it's balanced right, because it doesn't have parity with the other brands, you are either going to lose to it and say, well, I lost to it because he didn't have to worry about women, or you're going to win and be like, I won because I didn't have to worry about women. There's no in between there. Everything in a competitive mode like this should be even across the board, or you should have multiple different brands that all have a different function. instead of having 5 brands that are exactly the same and one that's different. Every one of them should have a different makeup, and it should be extremely authentic to what they were at the time. So I feel like we need to give the ECW brand women's championships, bump the popularity bump back down to 10, and just have parity across the board for everybody involved. That way there's no questions when you win, there's no questions when you lose, there's nothing. You have to worry about everything the same way everybody else has to worry about them. Okay, Matt, that little soapbox out of the way. I'm going to stick with the brands for a second, because one thing I'd love to see them add is more brands. One thing that absolutely irritates me right now is that they added 4 general managers but only 1 brand, and the brand that they added is missing some stuff. I think that this is kind of a cop-out. They could have really added a lot more brands. Plus, ECW and WCW do not exist and have not existed for decades, whereas NXT UK just went off the air 2 years ago. Bring NXT UK back as a brand. And I'll go one further, since they have all these classic wrestlers in here like Harley Race and Jesse Ventura and all these guys. Why don't we put in the AWA brand? It is owned by WWE. There's no reason not to put a territorial brand in here. That'd be a really cool addition of it. You'd have some really interesting belt ideas there and some belt things put forward. I think that'd be really, really cool. You could even use the old classic WWE Women's Championship from back in the day in that brand. I think that would be really cool. I don't think they did enough with brands this year. It's one of my biggest complaints, and I think it is a relatively easy fix. And that brings me to number 3, which is a custom brand. Really want to see a custom brand in here. We have had custom wrestlers in GM mode able to be GMs since the mode began in 2K22. So I would love to see that have parity with a custom brand. You already have the ability to create a show in the game. There's no reason that you can't just add that show in from there. I think it would be a relatively easy patch, and you don't even have to get crazy with it. You could just give them a standard card like you give the custom wrestlers, and I think it would be an awesome ad that would make a lot of people very happy. It would do nightmarish things to our load time, but overall I think it would be a really, really, really cool ad, especially for content creators out there. So brand stuff out of the way. Now it's just easy stuff. It's very simple stuff. The first one is AI tweaks. So I don't know how many of you are going to agree with me on this one. In fairness, I might be completely alone. But I spectate a lot of matches. As I said, I don't know how to play the game really, but I use GM mode as I'm making a show, and oftentimes I watch them. I don't watch every match, but I usually watch most of my pay-per-view matches. And if you've watched me stream on the channel, you've seen me. I watch all the title matches and all the pay-per-view matches. So I like to spectate matches. That being said, there's some serious AI tweaks that need to happen, mainly in the tag team or multi-man cage situation. You can actually see them start to climb, this is the moment they're supposed to climb when they have the other wrestlers down, get up and then just jump down and start beating on the people. I had a tag team steel cage match go something like an hour and 20 minutes before I finally got out, because one dude actually did climb out, and then the other 2 guys just stayed in the ring and beat the other guy for literally almost 90 minutes, to the point where I was like, I've got to just end this. I've also had TLC matches, Fatal 4-Way TLC. I've had a couple end okay, but I've had some TLC matches just go forever, and nobody attempts to climb. There's something up with the AI when it comes to climbing or escaping something to gain victory. They're not really doing it when they should, and I really hope that the developers look at this and make some changes. And then finally, this is another simple one. I kind of blew my big ones up front, but Ring XP level editing in the draft pool. So when you go to start a GM mode, you can edit your draft pool completely from the whether people are contracts, active, inactive, local talent. You can edit their starting popularities, their starting class, their starting role, whether they're heel or face, but you cannot edit ring experience. This is something that has to be earned in game, and all of the WWE characters have arbitrary ones added. However, anything you download starts at 0. Like, I have a really good model of Sting. I wanted to add Sting to my game. He has a 0 ring experience. That's an insanity to me. You're not able to kind of like, you can make them contracted like they're legends, and you can bump their popularity up, but you cannot up their starting ring experience, which I think is just, I think that's a mistake. It's honestly a mistake. You can edit everything else at the beginning of the game. Why can't you edit this? It's just silly. And it definitely makes, when you're creating those like custom draft pools, just slightly less as cool as it was in 2K23. Because in 2K23, I could download a bunch of legends, make them legends, bump their popularities, and they literally are indistinguishable from the other legends you can pick up in the game. So, like, that's one thing that's just kind of a miss for me, is having, 2010 Chris Jericho in there, but I can't. He's got a 0 ring experience. Just stuff like that is just crazy to me, and I wish I could edit that and up it. So that's it. That's the 5 things right there. Nice, quick, and easy. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm still working on GM mode, and I'm streaming it every Tuesday at 11 till about 12:30. I'm in my first season right now, and I'm having a lot of fun with that. And we also are still doing a show of 2K23 because myself and my partner are way behind, and we've got to finish our story, to pardon a phrase from Cody Rhodes, before we could switch over to 2K24. So it's going to be a while on that one. Other than that, you guys can contact us on Facebook at OmegaMDH, on Twitter at OmegaMD9. Join our Discord, links in the description below. Influence us in all of our shows from there. As long as you keep watching and listening, keep making them. You can also comment in below and let me know what you'd like to see in the game. All right,